Good to go, man.
All right. Good morning. Welcome to Mullin It Over. This is now episode, 43 here? Episode 43 of Mullin It Over here on Tuesday, May 24th. Yes, that is right. Tuesday, May 24th here on Mullin It Over. We are live inside the studio. Oh, wait. No, we're not live. But we are inside the studio.
Well, I mean,
we got one part down.
Technically, we're live. It just won't be played live.
That's right. So we are live streaming the video, but technically, we recorded this about an hour ago. So you're seeing the recording an hour later because, well, our internet just isn't up to snuff at this location until we get Spectrum in here to get things hooked up. So that'll be sometime this week. Fingers crossed, sooner the better. I put a rush on the order, but we'll see how that works out. But they told me Saturday is the latest they will be here. So we might have to go all week without internet here. So I would, unless we can get that internet hooked up, all the shows this week are going to be pre-recorded and then streamed because, well, Greggy, it just works better that way. The bit rate works better. The internet works better. If you can just record everything, put it into one source and just send that out as a video, as opposed to trying to do all these different things that we do at the same time with the graphics and the overlays and switching scenes and cameras and all that stuff. It just helps us a lot better to present a quality product to you. So we don't want the glitches. We don't want the bad images. So that's why we're recording this and we're streaming it live an hour later. So once again, today is Tuesday, May 24th, and we are in Studio Squared. That's right, folks. We are in the studio. It's going to be a little bit of a process at first. You're going to see this take shape. You're going to see this evolve over the course of time. We are not open to the public yet, so don't come down and visit us. But that will be, I'd say, you're looking at probably about a 3-month time period. Sometime between now and the end of August, I'd say, is your timetable. We will announce a date when we have a date. But until then, just know we're working on it. And you will watch it take shape behind the scenes through these shows. Mullin It Over, the Pulse Podcast, and many other podcasts and shows to come as we've got a content team that's working on new content and new ways to bring you the content that you want. I mean, that's what we're trying to do, find out what you want. So if you've got something, maybe a topic you want to talk about, or maybe think something that might be, an interesting topic to maybe do a podcast on, make sure you shoot us an email. You can shoot me an email at nmullins@heartofohiosports.com. Once again, let's get to the topics here today. Greggy, let's talk about the weather. Because right now, I mean, this is my kind of weather right now.
Right.
This is just gorgeous.
Sunny and cool.
That's right. I mean, this is fat guy weather, and I, being a fat guy, love this kind of weather because it's not going to make me sweat just sitting there. That's the thing I can't stand. I'm okay with sweating if I'm working, right, Greg? I mean, if I'm doing stuff and I'm up moving around, I'm okay. I'm paying for it.
It's to be expected then.
But if I'm just sitting there and I can't stop sweating,
no need for that.
I'm over it. And maybe that's just because I drink too much water or something. I don't know, but I don't know. I've always had a sweating problem since I was a kid, and I just can't stand.
Staying hydrated is never a bad idea. That's
right. That's right. So it is going to be 70 degrees today. It's going to get up to I'd say high 60s, low 70s. It is mostly sunny today. So partly cloudy, mostly sunny, however you want to say it. It's 57 degrees right now, but it is 9:21 right now as I sit here. So it might be a little bit warmer by the time you're watching this. Once again, this is a recorded episode of Mullin It Over. So the weather for today looks beautiful. And I really, you look at it, it's going to look like that for most of the week. I mean, you got some rain in the forecast here over Wednesday, Thursday, a little bit on Friday and Saturday. But the temperatures, they're mellowing out for the most part until we get to Sunday.
Yep.
And then it starts to look like, what the heck are we doing?
I will say this, though, Nate. I'm not going to complain about that forecast because that is the start of bike week. And it's always a little bit colder up by the lake. So, these days where it's 67 degrees here in Tiffin, you're talking about probably 50-something up by the lake. Nobody likes that. So
right.
Go ahead and warm up so we can have a nice little bike week.
Right. Absolutely. I'm all for it. So there is ways that you can cool down in the heat. When it gets up to, the end of May, early June, that's when the pools start opening up. That's when you start seeing the city pool open up and people around the area start getting their pools cleaned up and ready. Hey, I like pools, by the way. Invite me over to any pool parties.
I
I'm
think
a pretty good griller. I can grill you up some mean steaks.
The city pool, I believe, is opening Memorial Day weekend, isn't it?
Memorial Day weekend. That's this
Nice.
weekend. It opens. The city pool opens this Monday, I believe. Correct?
See, the weather just knew it was coming, so.
That's right. Well, I mean.
That's swimming weather right there.
Yeah. Well, and they need lifeguards in order to operate the pool. So they have to wait till school's over.
I was going to say, I saw they had a nice group of volunteers that went in and kind of fixed things up and cleaned up the pool and got everything organized and ready for the season. So that's awesome.
Yeah, that was really cool. I think that was a local church that did that. So hats off to anybody that had a hand in that project, getting that pool up and running. Because, folks, that's something that our community sorely needs for the kids to have something to do over the summer, to stay busy and stay active and stay healthy. I mean, you remember what it was like when you were a kid. Going to the pool, that's the highlight of your day in the summer.
That's good times.
For sure. All right, let's talk about the headlines, Greggy. Let's look at the local headlines first. We'll talk about the Advertiser Tribune. That's where we go for most of our local headlines. Currently, I'm looking at the front page of the paper here, Greg. I can pull that up on my phone. Yes, folks, you can pull the Advertiser Tribune up on your phone. That's today's paper, right on your phone, not the e-version or anything. This is the real paper right here. Obviously, it's not paper. I can't rip it up, but, you know. But we have some interesting news here. We'll talk about this later, the interesting part. But as far as the Advertiser, I got a couple things that I want to touch on. There's not really a whole lot as far as news-wise, but there's a couple things that are just interesting notes here in the area. Farewell, Ace. Hello, Dusty. TCS celebrates a retiring therapy dog. That's right. Therapy dog Ace has retired, and they hosted a retirement party on May 13th at Frost Cow Stadium. How cool is that? They fill a whole stadium with people to celebrate the therapy dog Ace.
I mean, everybody that I know that had a kid that was in the Tiffin City schools that day was like, oh, we're going down to the stadium. We're going down. They got inflatables. They got hot dogs. They got everything. It was a great time and a great turnout from the pictures that I saw.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Advertisers got some really cool pictures. Some kids paint with their face painted, and they're sitting there petting Ace. Ace started his training soon after the team got him as a puppy at 13 weeks old.
Wow.
He attended the puppy preschool, basic manners, advanced obedience, canine good citizen, and he passed his test, and he also passed therapy dog classes at Canine Bliss LLC in Fremont. At the age of 1, he was tested and evaluated by a certified TDI, which is short for Therapy Dogs International evaluator. A dog must be a minimum of 1 year old and have a sound temperament. Each dog must pass a TDI temperament evaluation for suitability to become a therapy dog. So Ace passed all his tests with flying colors. He's been a great member of the TCS community over his time as a therapy dog. I know my kids talk glowingly about him. Isaac loved him when he spent time at Noble. But there's going to be a new dog taking over. That's right. New sheriff in town as therapy dog Dusty. Black Lab is going to take over for the therapy dog at TCS. Now, Greg, I'm a sucker for black labs. Let me just say that. Like, I love golden retrievers too. I like those big dopey dogs, and they just love to be pet, and they love their side to be patted and all that good stuff. But I'll tell you, black labs have a special place in my heart.
Well, I mean, you look at that picture of him, Nate, and tell me he's not a good boy.
Gotta say that's a good boy. I mean, they're all good boys, but he looks like a really good boy.
Yeah, he looks super friendly. I tell you, man, like, and those therapy dogs, they do wonders for these kids in this community.
Oh, absolutely. And it's something that really goes unnoticed until we have these kind of ceremonies to either welcome in the new dog or, say goodbye to the retiring dog. It seems like in between, you don't really get much of the recognition because the dog's doing his job.
Right. And it's unsung heroes there.
Absolutely. Unsung heroes. So once again, there's your headlines for the Advertiser Tribune. That's just the one I wanted to talk about. There's some other headlines here. Berg is hosting a business leadership series. They launched their new Lessons in Leadership series in June. The first event will feature co-authors of the Wall Street Journal's best-selling book, Love as a Business Strategy, Resilience, Belonging, and Success. Mohammed Anwar, Chris Pitre, Jeffrey Ma, and Frank Dana, who will be event keynote speakers. So this is a big event for Heidelberg. I know, they do a lot of different lectures and a lot of different, keynote speakers that they bring in to talk to the students and just the people in this community. Heidelberg is one of those institutions that, they're both Tiffin University and Heidelberg. They have a footprint in this community, and Heidelberg, they do a great job of trying to bring in diversified people, and they want to try to, present a message that to their students that, they're all inclusive, and they want to make everyone feel welcome on that campus from the time they step foot on that campus to the time they go on to their next career. And it really, honestly, Greg, every time I'm around Heidelberg, for whatever reason, the people at Heidelberg, they have a great way of making it feel like a family there.
Well, not only that, but Nate, I've noticed from my time as, I've been here my entire life in Tiffin, and I noticed that the people working at Heidelberg have made it seem like it is a much bigger, more prestigious university than I remember it being when I was a younger kid. Yeah. So you talk about the way they make you feel like family, but not only that, but the way they make you feel like this is a legitimate big-time school to come to, bringing people here, bringing all kinds of people here. It's just great for the community.
Absolutely. So once again, Heidelberg hosting the Business Leadership Series that will start in June. Let's move on to the community calendar, Greg. Let's talk about the community calendar as we go to the Seneca Regional Chamber.com website. Regional Chamber, we are a chamber member, so we always want to try to pay tribute to all the other members of the Chamber of Commerce. As I look through this calendar, there's a lot of different events on here, folks, and you can take your time looking through each of these different events, but a couple of them really caught my eye. One of which, Spring Canoe Float. Greg?
Oh, yeah.
Garlow Heritage National Nature Preserve. That is one of my favorite places to go for a walk. You got the beautiful grounds.
Just they always right have outside of Bloomville there.
Yeah, where they have the Harvest Fest every year.
Oh yeah.
It's a really cool, intimate little setting, nice little park area. But then they also have a giant pond, and there's a walking trail that goes all the way around that pond.
It's like a swamp back there.
It really is.
When I was in high school for Sentinel, we actually worked on some things out there with soil and stuff like that, and did a lot of field trips out that way, building up buildings and whatnot. It's a really nice place, though. It's gotten better and better throughout the years.
Oh, for sure. And it's a gorgeous place, gorgeous venue. And they're doing a spring canoe float from 6 to 7 p.m. tonight. Join naturalist Angie for an early spring paddle on the pond at Garlow Nature Preserve. Once again, that's just outside of Bloomville. That's on 19, isn't it, Greg?
Yep,
you just go all the way through Bloomville. You go out the other side of Bloomville.
Yeah, right on the main road there, and you just go south of Bloomville for about 2 minutes of that, and there it is.
Yep. It just kind of springs up on you. But it's one of my favorite parks in this area, and it's a true gem in Seneca County. So if you got nothing going on tonight, that's right around the time that baseball game should be over tonight. So take a walk, go out and check out the nature preserve at Garlow, and maybe watch people doing some paddling. And
well, I was gonna say that's the good thing about us bringing you these games live is you can go do these events and not miss any baseball.
You can go for a walk and check out the spring canoe float, take your phone with you, and watch the game while you're out there.
That's right.
That's the beauty of it. So you can take us with you wherever you go, folks, and you can watch us wherever you go. That's the key, because it's better to be seen than just heard. Now, another thing that caught my eye here, Greg, Tiffin Municipal Arts Commission public meeting. That is tonight at 7 o'clock. That takes place at Reclaim at 127, just here in downtown Tiffin. Now, Reclaim It is a local nonprofit. They are, I don't know if anybody's familiar with this place, but they are phenomenal when it comes to community involvement and just the way they bring the community together. Their specialty is fixing broken furniture or upcycling furniture. Not necessarily broken. It could be, just maybe used furniture.
Just
and
need
they find
TLC.
a different purpose for it. Yeah. So what really amazes me about them is they don't just do that for furniture. They also do that for people as well. They help broken people or people that need help or people that need assistance. They're one of the first people that come up that are stepping up to bat when there's a home fire or a community. If someone has a fire in the community and they need furniture, one of the first places many local agencies turn to is Reclaim It, because they get donated furniture and a lot of stuff they'll put off to the side as like, well, just in case somebody might need this. Here's a dresser off to the side, or here's a bed off to the side, just in case someone might need this. They do such a great job of just being involved in the community and also contributing and giving back. That's something that, I mean, not a lot of businesses in this area do. Now, they are a nonprofit, so it's part of their mission, but I mean, Karen Klepper, Sue Reedy, my wife, Chelsea, I mean, they all do a great job down there. And we are proud to say that we did a little exchange with them here. Service exchange is what we like to call it here, as this table proudly came from Reclaim It 127. But once again, that is the TMAC meeting, Tiffin Municipal Arts Council. That's tonight at 7 o'clock at Reclaim It 127. Folks, if you want to be involved in the art in this community, if you want your voice heard, this is a public meeting. So please show up, tell the people what you want them, what you want to see, what you consider art, and how you want it portrayed in the community. Because right now, these meetings are really very important when it comes to determining what this community is going to look like over the next 5 years when it comes to art. I mean,
there's a lot of big things going on.
There's a lot of very influential artists in this group that are making their voices known, and they're putting their stamp on what is going to be art over the next few years in this community. So if you want your voice heard, you want to put your opinion out there, and you want, you know, someone to respect your opinion, this is the place for it. This is the venue for you to get your opinion out there and tell the public what you think art should be in the community. So once again, tonight, TMAC meeting at 7 o'clock at Reclaim It. That's pretty much it for the community calendar for today. Greg, now it's my favorite time of mulling it over. Now let's talk about weird news. That's right. We've got a few stories queued up for you here today. First up, let's talk about this one. Can dogs be pets? This one was an interesting article, Reuters.com. So there's an ongoing battle right now for a female elephant. Now, they're saying that so here's the question. Would granting a female elephant some of the same rights as humans, would that mean that people could no longer keep dogs as pets? That was among the questions that judges on New York State's top court during arguments in Albany on Wednesday asked a lawyer for an animal rights group that is pushing to free Happy the elephant from the Bronx Zoo. Now, the 51-year-old Asian elephant has called the venerable New York City Zoo it's called it home since 1977. Happy's been kept apart from the other elephants in this 1-acre enclosure since 2006. Now, 4 years ago, a non-human rights project began asking New York courts to release Happy to one of the 2 elephant sanctuaries in the United States, saying the animal was being illegally imprisoned. Now, the group had said that Happy was entitled to habeas corpus, which is a legal process in which illegally detained people or someone acting on their behalf may inquire about the reason why they are being held. This is an interesting little situation here, Greg, because when you think about it, you know, is a dog really being held against its will? I'll hold the door open. There you go. Here's the door. I mean, I get the argument for the elephant, absolutely, because I really feel like elephants are one of those creatures that are really misunderstood. They're so smart, they're so intelligent, they're so emotional that I feel like them, as well as like dolphins, and there's certain creatures on this planet that they have a different, I don't know, it's just a different feeling to them, you know? Like,
it's like they're living their own life, and you know, you don't say that a dog doesn't, but it's almost like, you know, man's best friend. Dogs are almost here, like that is their purpose, is to be there and be your pet, and
exactly.
Be there with you, you know. But
well, I think that's part of domestication over the years, you know, right. Us basically domesticating them. But I think it wouldn't have happened had a hungry wolf not come to a campfire, you know, billions or millions of years ago, you know, like, I'm just saying.
All it took was one good boy wolf.
That's right. And so with the elephant, I totally understand the argument. Absolutely. But with a dog, I'm feeding this thing. I'm taking care of this thing. Like, if you want to leave, there's the door, dude. See ya. Bye-bye.
I mean, on that note, you could say that cats aren't really pets because nobody tells a cat what to do. So,
well, I hold the door open for my cat, and she just sniffs the air. Nah, I'm okay. Nah.
So I'd leave if I felt like it. You don't tell me what to do.
Exactly. That's Molly in a nutshell. No, I'm good on that. That's outside. I'll sniff it. Nah, that's not for me.
No,
So,
thank you.
That was one story that kind of caught my eye. And I get the argument, like I said, from the elephant standpoint, totally understand that. But it's just kind of, I don't know. It was one of those things where...
Right here, it kind of touches on what you said here, Nate. It said that there's not as much evidence about dogs' cognitive abilities as there is for elephants. And that's where the argument's coming.
Have you ever seen a dog paint a picture?
No.
I haven't. I've seen an elephant paint a picture, and I've seen it paint like an actual portrait. Like,
I've seen elephants pick up trash and put it in trash cans before.
Exactly. And there's
Give me a dog that does that.
Yeah. Well, I've seen a dog pick up a beer and give it to a person. You can train a dog to do a lot of things. So, I mean, all right. So here's another one. This one's going to get some laughs here. All right. So Fox News article. We'll disregard that. Doesn't matter. Just telling you where it comes from. Ohio deputy encounters drunk Amish guy slumped over in moving buggy. Quote, the horse knows how to get home.
You wanna see if we can fire up this video here?
Yeah, let's go ahead and fire this video. Could you pull that up, Greggy? Yeah. Please.
Hey, wake up. There's a Bud Light can sitting in there and he passed clean out. The horse knows how to get home.
They're almost in disbelief.
Oh, this is great.
Yeah, we haven't even got to watch this video yet. That's awesome.
He passed down the buggy. Staley and Bogue Road. He just turned eastbound on Bogue. And I yelled at the guy when he rode by, there's a Bud Light can sitting in the buggy. He's passed clean out.
Oh, man.
No, I mean, I'm yelling, whoa, whoa, whoa.
At least the horse listened.
Low speed chase. He's just following him at a low speed.
Horse knows his commands. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh, did he get him to stop here?
We might have it stopped.
No. He ran into the cop car.
A hit and run.
Woke his ass up quick. Oh my god.
Oh, this is great.
He has like no idea what the hell's going on.
Grab your horse.
Grab your horse.
Stop that thing.
Stop that thing, kid.
He's wasted. He's like holding himself up.
Okay, so it doesn't do any more damage, please. Landed into my car already. Watch yourself. He's coming around to grab him. I don't want him backing up.
I've never seen anything like that.
Oh, man, that is just good. That's great. Once again, that was probably one of my favorites right there. Just, that was actually a pretty nice cop, to be honest. Like,
yeah.
He could have dealt with that a lot of different ways, but he was pretty cool with that guy, to be honest.
Yeah, considering that guy was literally slumped over,
Yeah.
wasted, just rolling down the street.
Well, the horse knows how to get home.
Then that begs the question, like, does it?
Yeah.
Like, is he for real?
Maybe he does.
Is this not the first time that he's done this?
Well, I mean, he had to have gotten to that point somehow in life,
Yeah,
So
I don't think
I would imagine, had there not been any interference, probably would have got home somehow.
Yeah, you got to think he's probably done that quite a few times and got away with it quite a few times. So he's probably like, hey, this is the, free pass here to get my drunk ass home.
Here's another one, another headline. This is the last one I got for weird news. Bank refuses to pay ransom to hackers, sends pics of their genitalia instead. That's right. I'm not sure if it would be enough for me to switch bank accounts, but I have something of a little bit of respect for the Bank of Zambia. So Zambia's central bank fell foul of a ransomware attack orchestrated by the Hive ransomware gang earlier this month. In a press release, the Bank of Zambia reassured its customers, partners, and media that it had recovered from the attack. Quote, the disruption, which affected some systems at the bank, such as the Bureau, the change monitoring system, and the website, emanated from a suspected cybersecurity incident. We wish to advise that these systems have since been fully restored. So rest assured, everything's good. That's good to know, but it's not that impresses me. No, it's the claims that the bank responded to messages from its extortionists by sending them, yes, a genitalia pic with the accompanying message, suck this bleep and stop locking bank networks, thinking that you will monetize something. Learn to monetize. So learn how to rip people off the right way.
They just called
the
them
bank way.
Oh, you guys suck. Get good.
I think that's awesome. Honestly, like, yeah, here he goes. You would get my money, suck on this. So I thought that was pretty funny.
Is that the Bank of Tommy Hall?
That is the Bank of Tommy Hall in Zambia.
I'd like to speak to your manager. Oh, yeah, well, you can speak to this.
All right, so let's move on. Let's talk about national sports, Greggy. What are some national sports topics we'll talk about quickly from last night, and then we'll move on and talk about local sports. Now, the Celtics, even the series with the Heat last night, 2-2, tied up. As I predicted, I really feel like this series is going to drag out and go 7 games. These teams are going to beat the crap out of each other, and one of them is going to drag their corpse to the finals. And as I predicted, on the other side, right now, the Warriors have a 3-0 lead over the Mavericks. I feel like the Mavs might take this game tonight just because the Warriors have a tendency of kind of letting up when they're up big. So they have a 3-0 lead. They might just kind of say, you can have this one, and then take it back home to win Game 5 because they do have Game 5 at home. This one tonight's in Dallas. So it wouldn't surprise me if the Mavericks were able to pull this one off and it goes 5 like I predicted. But I'm saying Warriors in 5 still. That's my prediction. They're up 3-0 right now. So Mavericks would have to go four straight. And I don't see that happening against this Warriors team. They are just locked in.
You think the Mavericks will take the game tonight?
I think Mavericks are going to take the game tonight. I think it'll be a close game, but I think maybe some Luka magic in the end.
Yeah, I mean, you look at those scores, that first game, 112-87.
Yeah,
big gap.
It's been ugly.
126-117. Gets a little closer, and then that last game, 109-100. So, yeah, the Mavericks, they're kind of working their way closer and closer, so this might be their night tonight.
They're figuring things out defensively, but on the offensive end, I just feel like they lost their identity coming into the series. They started thinking they needed to shoot a bunch of threes. Like that first game, they had 40-some missed threes. I don't understand how they went into this series with the mentality they were going to outshoot the Warriors. That's not how you beat that team. Everybody's proven it over the course of time. You're not going to outshoot them. You have to play defense, and that's the Mavs have kind of started to figure that out. But I don't know. I just feel like that's not a good series, and it's not going to end up well. And the Warriors are going to get a lot of rest because the Celtics and the Heat are going to beat the crap out of each other for 7 games. Warriors are going to get a week and a half of rest going into the finals, and then they're going to come in and crush whoever they play. It's probably going to be Warriors in 5 or 6 for the finals, and they'll win another championship.
You'll have a fresh team coming in against a team that beat the crap out of each other. You're not wrong there, Nate, at all.
And you know what's really crazy, Greg? They're loaded and they're ready to go for another run. Like this Warriors team could easily win 3 out of the next 4 championships again, the way they just did it recently. They're loaded. They've got another nice little young core with Wiseman, Kuminga, and Jordan Poole. Nice little trio they have already, just like young kids coming off the bench. And then they have, obviously, their big 3 with Draymond, Steph, and Klay Thompson. And now you got Andrew Wiggins, who, I mean, good Lord, that poster he put on Luka, woof. Did you see that dunk, Greg?
No, I didn't actually.
Oh, my good Lord. this is the first time I've seen Wiggins actually be the player that we thought he might be coming out of college. When the Cavs drafted him #1 overall and then traded him to the Wolves, I thought, man, they're giving up on a possible superstar talent. He's never realized his potential, especially defensively. Like, I thought he was going to be a defensive stud.
I want to see this dunk.
Oh, here's the dunk.
Ooh.
I'm telling you. He caught a body, and it was nasty.
Yeah, we're going to bring that back and show everybody. Bang. Woohoo.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nasty. So, but that's what Wiggins is now. He's comfortable in his role as he doesn't have to be the guy. He was the guy for so long in Minnesota, and now coming here, he doesn't have to be that guy. He can be off the ball. He can play off the ball. And he's starting to get comfortable in that Warrior scheme where you're seeing defensively the player that he was supposed to be. And now he's starting to come into his own offensively as well. So that's a dangerous combination for the Warriors is they have all these pieces already. And then you have a young potential star blossoming in front of your eyes that could be coming into the prime of his career. I mean, Andrew Wiggins is only, 27 years old? 26, 27 years old? This is a kid who, has kind of basically floundered for the last 6 or 7 years, but now has a chance to really take over and dominate. Well, he's probably about 28 because he was drafted in 14.
Oh, he's 27.
27. Okay,
He just turned 27 in February, actually.
But you're talking about a kid who's finally starting to realize his potential. He's not a kid anymore. He's a guy. You're talking about a guy who's, LeBron didn't want him, but the Warriors are like, yeah, we'll take you. Come on. We'll show you how to play basketball. And that's going to be I don't think it's going to be an interesting series at all. Whoever they end up playing from the East, they're just going to wipe the floor with them. That's just my opinion. But
That's the way it feels.
That's the way it feels
That's
right now.
how it looks, for sure.
It feels like the Warriors are primed for another championship run, and this will be just the beginning of it right here. So the Warriors got this going on for them right now. I feel like that's kind of the story of the NBA. You got the Celtics and Heat series, which is a great series. Don't get me wrong. That's a phenomenal series. Two great teams going at it, but I feel like they're just going to beat the crap out of each other, and there's not going to be much left for the finals when they get there. But then you look at other headlines right now. The Guardians with a big win last night over Houston, 6-1, brings their record to 18-20, and currently they are in third place, I believe, in the Central. Yes, third place. They are 6 games behind the division leader, the Minnesota Twins, which are 26-16. So they have, in their last 10, they are 4-6. So that's a big thing for the Guardians. They really have to find a way to be consistent at the plate. I think, they've got pitching, starting pitching. Their bullpen is just atrocious this year. They've got starting pitching, and that's sometimes all you need. But for this team, they've got to find consistency at the plate. Jose cannot do it all for this team every game. Yeah, he did it last night. I think he had 4 RBIs, 2-run jack, but he can't be that guy every single night. Right now there's only 3 players in Major League Baseball that have a higher WAR than him right now, and he's killing it. But he has to carry the load for this team every single night. You've got guys in that lineup who were supposed to be producing, and they're just not. Guys like Franmil Reyes, and there's other guys that I can think of. Oscar Mercado. Well, there's certain people that were expected to be contributors on this team, whether it was this year or last year or the year before, and they just have not come to fruition, especially at the plate. You saw Stephen Kwan come out and catch fire at the beginning of the season, but he's kind of leveled off lately. He still has a really good approach at the plate, but teams are starting to get notes on him, starting to catch up to him, so he's going to have to make some adjustments as well. But this is a team that they're young. They've got a lot of young guys coming up making impact right now. Ahmed Rosario is still trying to figure out his position. For whatever reason, they just don't really have a position for him. Owen Miller, thankfully, has been a pretty nice little piece for them this year. But this is a team that they're not going anywhere this year, folks. If you think this is a World Series team, you're kidding yourself. They could possibly contend for a wild card spot, but I just don't see it with this team.
Just don't see them making that deep run all the way.
No, unless they catch fire at some point, which could happen. It's a Tito Francona team. They're known for going on streaks of 15, 20-game win streaks, 10-game win streaks, whatever. They are a streaky team, but they also are streaky in the other way where they'll lose games in a row. So this is a team that they're going to take some time to put all these pieces together. And some of these young guys that still are in the minor leagues still haven't got their chance and got their shot to come up and show what they're capable of. Nolan Jones is one guy that kind of comes to mind, one of their top prospects in the minors. They got a couple other guys that are coming up through the ranks that I feel like over the next couple of years, you'll see their impact on the club. But right now, it's kind of like us as a business right now with Heart of Ohio Sports. You're going to see some sacrifices first. With the Guardians, they're sacrificing right now. They're sacrificing so that way over the next couple of years, when their younger guys start to come up and they develop these guys that are in the lineup now, maybe then they can start spending some money.
Well, it's just like.
I'm sorry, I did that with a straight face. You see, I was straight faced as hell when I did that. But anyways, no, they're not going to spend any money. This is the Guardians we're talking about. The Dolans don't spend money on anything other than themselves. So, so this team, you're just going to have to deal with it. I seen yesterday, I'm in a Cleveland Indians roundtable group. And there was a guy in that group yesterday selling all of his sports memorabilia, everything Indians related. And I'm telling you, Greg, this dude had everything you could possibly think of. And it was all for sale. He had an Indians pool table. He had an Indians poker table. He had, countless memorabilia, framed jerseys, baseball bats that were signed. And you know what? You know why he was selling it?
Oh, geez.
Because he was disgusted with the name change.
It's a name. It's just a name. I mean, come on.
You can be mad about the name change. That's fine. But
you're
get over it. Like, get over it.
You're going to fold your fandom over a name change?
And if you're not, if you're that hung up over a name, are you really a fan of baseball or are you a fan of the name?
Right.
Like, do you like the baseball team or do you just like the name? Because if you just like the name, then just, I don't know, find a different team with the same name and root for them. Jeez, like, who cares? Honestly, it's not that big a deal. They're still in Cleveland. They're still playing baseball at Progressive Field. They are still a baseball club that's located in Cleveland, Ohio. They didn't move the team like they did with the Browns.
Right.
That
wasn't just a name change. That was an identity change.
Get over it. Like, I get it. You can be upset, but at some point, we just got to move on. Like, come on. What are we going to do? Get upset and be upset forever about it? Like, they're not going to change it back.
Right. Oh,
doesn't matter how many fans don't want to come to these games.
This guy's burning all the stuff for selling all of his memorabilia, so we better change that name back, guys. Like, come on.
It's not going to happen. So, I get it. That's a hot topic, and there's probably some fans out there who are watching this that are saying, yeah, screw that. I'm still pissed off about that. You're allowed to be pissed. Just don't stop rooting for the team. Come on. That's immature, honestly.
And honestly,
I love baseball. I love that there's a team in Cleveland playing baseball.
I was going to say,
I care less what they're called.
Me personally, man, like, I would treasure those things even more. The old memorabilia, the old jerseys. Like, that's the kind of stuff that I'm keeping an eye out for now. If I go to, like, a Goodwill or something like that. If I see something with Indians on it, I'm checking it out for sure. For sure.
Man. And I'm trying to stockpile all of that stuff because I know eventually it's going to be worth a lot of money. Like, you think about all this stuff that over the years has had to change names or change brands. Maybe not this year or next year or even 10 or 12, 20 years down the road, but maybe 50 years, 30, 40, 50 years down the road, you start thinking about this memorabilia from the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, all this Indians memorabilia. That stuff's going to be worth a ton of money.
Yeah, it's going to be super classic, man.
That's why I don't understand. Like, don't sell your stuff. That's just, I don't know, whatever. Do what you want. It's your stuff. Do what you want. Don't listen to me. Don't let me tell you what to do. Just sell your stuff. I'll buy it. Discount prices. Whatever you want to sell it for, bring it over here.
I was going to say, you don't just talk the talk. You walk the walk because you obviously kept all your Indian stuff. And then look at the hat that you got on right now. It shows you're still supporting the new brand. So
That's right. I still have my Indians hat, too.
You're a fan.
I still have my Chief Wahoo on my arm, too. I'm sorry, but that's not going anywhere.
We got to get rid. We got to have to take that off with the laser now.
All I'm saying is it's not changing. They're not going to change it back. So just deal with it.
You can't change history. So it is. Nope. It is what it is.
Enjoy it is what it is. That's exactly right. So that's pretty much it for national sports. Now let's talk about local sports, Greggy, as we are just about ready to wrap this episode up here. It's about 9:57. So we're getting close to the end here, but I want to remind you folks, we have high school baseball on the broadcast tonight. today here on Heart of Ohio Sports. Now, these games were originally scheduled for Wednesday at Clyde High School. However, they are now moved to today. It's a 2 o'clock start time for the Tiffin Calvert versus Hopewell Loudon game. That is the 1 seed versus the 6 seed, I believe. Hopewell the 1 seed, Calvert the 6 seed. That game will take place once again at 2 o'clock. Tune in right here on Heart of Ohio Sports at 1:50 for the pregame. Once again, Tiffin Calvert versus Hopewell Loudon in Division 4.
From Clyde.
From Clyde in the, regional district semifinal. So then later tonight, you have Old Fort versus St. Paul at 4:30. That's right here on Heart of Ohio Sports. We will stay there, stay set up, and we will bring you that call live right here on Heart of Ohio Sports from Clyde High School. That's a huge matchup for both of those teams. As you know, St. Paul, I think, is a 2 seed. Old Fort, the 4 seed, coming off a big win over New Regal, the 3 seed. Old Fort is playing with house money right now, and they are on a roll, Greg. Their pitching is dynamite. Isaac Snyder's locked in. He's pitching tonight for the Stockaders. And then you've got, Miles Miller, who just seems to be locked in right now as a pitcher as well. And they've got some guys in their lineup who are really starting to figure it out offensively. When we first saw them, they had some guys that obviously you expect to produce in that lineup who were just having some struggles. For whatever reason, they just had some struggles with their swing or their approach at the plate. You've seen some adjustments over the last few weeks to where these hitters are now, they're starting to see the ball better.
Yeah.
And they're starting to really just square up on it a lot better. And
I think it's a team that really started to find its identity as it went on through the season.
And that's scary for any team in this area. I'm telling you, folks, this is a very talented Old Fort team. So make sure you don't want to miss that one tonight. Once again, the 2 seed versus the 4 seed, St. Paul, Norwalk St. Paul Flyers versus the Old Fort Stockaders. Once again, right here, 4:30 on Heart of Ohio Sports. Locally as well, tomorrow, since we won't be on, we'll be on Mullin it over tomorrow, so we can talk about this tomorrow as well. But locally, we do have some softball action, as a couple of local softball teams have made the regional round in the Division 4. That's right, we have a couple of local teams starting out with the Hopewell Loudon Chieftains, as they finished up the district championship. And they move on to the regional round. They face Vienna Matthews. That will take place at Clyde. Nope, I'm sorry. That one's at Strongsville tomorrow at 5 o'clock. And then down in region, let's see, that is region 14. You have Mohawk versus Van Wert. That one taking place at Clyde High School tomorrow at 5 o'clock. So, Greg, I was looking at this schedule and I'm wondering, maybe that's why they had to move those games, because they double booked Clyde for the softball tournament tomorrow and the baseball tournament that was originally scheduled for tomorrow.
Yeah, that's the feeling that I'm getting from that. Yeah. It's like, because
the weather doesn't look that
bad. Time. Yeah.
So I'm not sure, but either way, the games have been moved to today. So Tiffin Calvert versus Hopewell at 2 o'clock, Old Fort versus St. Paul at 4:30. And then we have some softball action tomorrow. Now, those games will not be televised here on Heart of Ohio Sports. However, you can catch those games if you go to those sites. Once again, Mohawk versus Van Wert. That'll take place at Clyde High School at 5 o'clock. And then you have the Hopewell Loudon versus Vienna Matthews game, and that one's at Strongsville at 5 o'clock once again. So if you want to go up and check out those ball games, folks, I highly recommend it, because these are some very talented softball teams in this area. And they have really, they've made a name for themselves. There's a couple of really talented girls, especially on that Hopewell Loudon team, Greg. I've heard a lot about that team.
Oh, yeah.
They got a young pitcher on that team who is a stud, and she's got almost 200 strikeouts from what Josh Morgert was telling me.
Jeez.
And then they have another girl on that team who's a masher, who's hit over 15 home runs on the season. These are unreal numbers for high school softball.
Yeah, that's impressive.
When you start thinking about, you compare those numbers to other players in this area, it's mind-boggling to see what these scores from Hopewell do. Mohawk's the same way. Great squad, great softball squad. They're putting up some crazy numbers right now. So, folks, this is a highly entertaining brand of softball. I really encourage you to go to those games and support local softball, because this is, these girls are out there working just as hard as these boys are. So make sure you get out there, support the local softball teams. That's playoff action once again tonight here on Heart of Ohio Sports, as we have Tiffin Calvert versus Hopewell at 2 o'clock. And then Old Fort versus St. Paul at 4:30. Softball action tomorrow. Go to those sites. Strongsville for the Hopewell Loudon game, and Mohawk playing at Clyde. Once again, those are not going to be televised here on Heart of Ohio Sports. We do have one more game coming to you later this week as we bring you the Tiffin Columbian game. They play Ontario, the 1 seed versus the 3 seed. That is this Thursday. That's a 4:30 first pitch from Bluffton High School. So, Greg, I mean, that's pretty much it for today. You got anything you want to add here before I do have one thing I want to add. Happy birthday, Tammy.
Yep, I was going to say, I'm gonna hit it again. You know, we hit it last night, but I want to wish my mother a happy birthday. I'm sure she's probably watching as soon as we upload this. So,
happy birthday, Tammy. What are you now, 39, 38, somewhere around in there?
The big 39.
Once again, thanks for tuning in here on Mullin It Over. This is episode 43. If you're watching this on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch, make sure you share, hit that subscribe button, and make sure you follow us on all of our social media. We are on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram. We've got them all, folks. So you find us, Heart of Ohio Sports. Search for us on all of those different sites, and make sure you share this video, please. That helps us extend our reach and get outside of our normal viewing area. And shoot us a comment. Let us know what you think about the episode. That helps us stay in your news feed. The more you interact with our posts, the more we're going to stay in your news feed. So,
right.
Once again,
you tell us what kind of things you like, and we'll do more of that.
That's right. Let us know in the comments what you want to see more of here on Mullin It Over, or just on Heart of Ohio Sports in general. Thanks again for tuning in. If you missed it, last night's episode of the Pulse Podcast is on our Facebook, on our YouTube channel, and on our Twitch channel as well. Make sure you go back and watch that, because that is, I'm telling you, that's must-see television right there. Thanks again for tuning in. For Greg Kinn, I'm Nate Mullins. Thanks once again, Greggy, for your help.
No problem, man.
Producing from the studio. Studio Squared, we're live. Well, kind of live, but you get it. We'll be live next week. But for now, thanks for tuning in here on Mullin It Over. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see ya.